Greetings, deacons and elders. Due to Leadership Summit being this weekend, we will not have our monthly tag-in meeting. And I've got some things that I just feel like I need to communicate with regards to Oikos, Oikoses. Still don't know the plural of the word Oikos. And several of you have tried to help with that, except I get different words from different ones, so I am clueless at this point still. Nevertheless, do have some things I feel like I need to share. And I want to say this at the outset. If with regards to the things I communicate in this video, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. Don't stuff your foot in it. If the shoe does fit, then I'm asking you to prayerfully listen and consider what I have to say. I feel like, or at least it's I guess sort of a principle that I try to live by in leading, whether that's leading as a parent, leading in ministry. When you have sort of things you use as a measurement, I think it's unfair to not be somewhat upfront about those things. And so one of those things, and I'm pretty sure I've communicated this in the past, but one of those things to me is reporting. At face value, obviously reporting is about communication. It's about the sharing of the good things and the negative things that are going on. Over the last several years now, there have been some very beneficial things that we have gleaned. I have gleaned as a pastor from Oikos reports. Some of those, again, are great things that have happened in people's lives. The progress people are making, spiritual development that's going on, and then, of course, struggles, issues, concerns. All of those things have been communicated through various reports, and I find it to be very beneficial as a pastor. So again, face value reporting it's communication. But then for me, and it's been this way for years and years in a variety of roles and areas of ministry, reporting is also it's an indicator of, to me, where a leader is. I am a little concerned right now with reporting in this aspect because there are a number of you that for weeks now have not submitted a report at all. And there are some others that your reporting has been fairly inconsistent over the last several weeks and months. And from the standpoint of I guess, a measurement, that communicates or indicates some things to me. And their symptoms, I don't find them to be an inconsistency in reporting. I don't find to be a root problem. I view it as a symptom of something else. And I will say, I realize there are those of you that these last several weeks and months, you've gone through some very challenging or time-consuming or unusual circumstances, anything from the birth of a baby to some business challenges, family challenges, etc. I think it's important in leading people and in ministry that we try to distinguish between what is sort of a one-time bad day versus what is sort of an ongoing pattern. We all have bad days. We all have bad weeks. We even have bad months. But it's kind of an isolated one-time incident. And then there are things that become an ongoing pattern. And so I readily acknowledge that for a few of you, some of your circumstances of the last several weeks and months are very unusual, and this is not necessarily your pattern. But that's not every situation, and I am concerned. I am concerned because to me, a few of the things that inconsistent reporting indicates is perhaps a lack of engagement, a lack of consistency of ministry, perhaps a lack of burden. And if that's not the case, then wonderful. But again, in an effort to be upfront, that's some of the things it indicates to me. And I guess one of my sort of concerns is if it was up to you to completely remember every single week the need to report, that would be one thing, but there is a weekly link that is sent out, and therefore in essence is a reminder that a report is expected. And so the lack of reporting is it concerns me. It concerns me about what that may represent with regards to the health of a particular oikos. It concerns me with regards to, is there a lack of connection between you as a deacon and the group that you are leading? And then another aspect of reporting, and I know I've said this in the past, but once again, there are some times in these last several weeks, and perhaps even a little longer, where I'm pretty sure it's not a copy and paste from week to week, but it almost appears as though there is just kind of a copy and paste from one week to the next. If you're dealing with 10 to 15 adults, I have to say I'm a little uncertain, or I struggle a little bit with the idea there's not something out of that whole group that's not fresh each week. Again, that could be some testimonies and positive things, or that may be some negatives and some struggles. And so, again, in a couple of aspects, I've been disturbed for a little while now by this, and I will say, as I've said various times in the past, if this was one single person, then communicating it in this way, I don't think is appropriate. If it's one single person, that should be done one-on-one in person. But this is not. There is a decent percentage of groups that are falling into either one or both of these concerns, a lack of reporting or not a whole lot to a report. And so that's why I'm addressing it this way, because it's not just one single group. And so I'm encouraging you, if some of the things that I've said may be this is a symptom of, and we need to talk, then let's do that. But I've tried my best for several years now with regards to this area to communicate how significant, how important I view your role and what you're doing. At the risk of being redundant, you are sharing in the in the role of pastoral care. And what you do is helping in that area. It is, I don't personally view us as a large church, a big church, but even at the size we are at, it's impossible for one person to adequately care and minister to 300 or so people. And so you're, as I've also said many times, this is not a ministry of Antioch Central. This is a part of the ministry of Antioch Central. And I am once again in my spirit feeling a concern as to the level of effectiveness that we are having. I know it's been a challenging almost year at least now with a lot of the things we've dealt with and gone through. And as I've said numerous times, COVID is not the only challenge that we have been through in the last year. Most of us have had our own set of personal challenges that are completely unconnected to COVID, politics, etc., etc. We've whether it's other physical issues, financial, family, etc., etc. I understand that. I respect that, but I am, and I hate to sort of in this kind of a way where we're not more connected in person. I guess be so stern, but I'm appealing once again. If you're in the role of a deacon and for whatever reasons you're not all in, we need to discuss that. We really do, because I am counting on you to bear this burden of ministry, that we can stand before God and say and know that we are doing the absolute best we can to minister to this flock that we know as Antioch Central. Another, I guess, changing areas a little bit here. Obviously, with the way things are continuing to go, it's a little hard to keep up with who's connected, who's staying connected. I actually just recently learned of a situation where someone has kind of made a ministry change, and because of combination of online or people watching from home, I really hadn't noticed the pattern that had developed, and I've also been a little concerned the last several months. I realize some of you, for various reasons, are pretty much watching from home rather than attending in person. And I respect that, I support that, and as I've said numerous times, as long as you're not either being controlled by fear and you're also not living a kind of a double standard of, Walmart and all kinds of things out in public, I'm good with that. Honestly, I am good with that. But I would like to request something, and that is because it's not possible to know when you are choosing to join online, whether or not you're really joining us online. I'm going to ask, and I understand this could be a little cumbersome, but again, from the perspective of the role and the value that I place on what you do, who you are, I'm asking this, and that is, I'm asking you, if you're not in service and you're watching online, that you would send an email or a text confirming that. Basically, while you're doing it. That way you're not forgetting to do it later. Um, I'm tired of feeling the need to qualify certain things, but I still feel the need to qualify certain things. Church services is not the be all, the end all of what we do, but obviously there are things direction wise, what the Spirit is saying to us, things that are going on that are communicated either intentionally or by default by what's being done in a service. And if you're going to have the spirit of ministry of this congregation, you've got to be connected. You just have to be connected. And I know, I respect, I haven't quite been on this end of it, but I respect that watching online can be a little bit of a challenging when you do it can be a little bit of a challenge when you do it on a regular basis. I know last year there was first couple of weeks, people were getting up on Sunday mornings and getting dressed for church and going and sitting in the living room, and it was exciting, but several weeks in, it was, pajamas and casual, comfortable clothes. And then it was learning how to do breakfast at the right time to be ready for the preaching. And I respect all of that. Honestly, I do. I haven't been on that end of it per se, but I can respect how it can become a challenge. But I really need to know, I need the peace of mind of knowing that you as a deacon and the role that you are in, that you are staying connected, you're in the flow of what God is doing and saying to Antioch Central. And you were supposed to be carving out Sunday morning, Sunday night, Thursday night anyway. And just because you're not comfortable to come in person, it's not intended to be just, free, relaxing time. And so I'm asking you, you can text me, you can email me. I really don't care which one, but I'm asking you if you're not in service. Of course, the bottom line is, and some of you do a great job at this, some of you are very faithful with this, but if you're not going to be in service, part of leadership expectations is that you communicate that. And some of you still use tell us, and others of you will do it just on a personal email or text basis. Really, at this point, I don't really care what option you use. I just am asking for the communication. We've been in these circumstances for a long time now, and for a while, it really wasn't as much of a concern to me. I wasn't feeling so unsettled, but over these last couple of weeks and months, I've been a little more unsettled with folks that are deacons and are sharing in this weight and responsibility of ministry, and just unsure how connected you are staying. So again, I'm asking you to not do it the next day, the next couple of days. If you're sitting there, you're watching service, you're online, shoot a text, shoot an email to me, just do it to me, and I will take the responsibility of forwarding that to the Middletons, to the elders, and all you need to do is just communicate with me. I think the third main thing I want to communicate is we have talked about having at least one monthly gathering. I'm under the impression, and I will say it that way, this is not a factual thing, but I'm under the impression that that's not happening on a regular basis for a lot of our groups. And we really are at the point now where it's an expectation. We spent several months where it was a suggestion, but at this point there should be at least one monthly Oikos gathering. I understand that may need to be by Zoom. I realize that some of you personally are uncomfortable with gathering in a small setting with other people, and or some of you have a good portion of your group that is concerned with gathering in person. So this is not a mandate that it has to be a monthly in-person gathering, but there should be at least once a month some kind of either online or in-person gathering. And I'm asking you again, I'm encouraging you again, you may have a significant percentage of your group that's communicating they're not interested in that. If it's just one person, it's worth it. And if you try to do this and you can't get anyone, then that's no problem. It's kind of like the Lord said to Ezekiel. If I tell you to warn the wicked and you warn them and they don't respond, it's on them. But if I tell you to warn the wicked and you don't warn the wicked, it's on you. So if you try and people are just really uninterested, that's not on you. But it is on you to at least try. Again, there's no mandate as to when, and there's really no mandate as to the format of what you do. I mean, right now between Engage and Grow classes and other things, there's plenty of material that you can, if nothing else, just facilitate a group discussion or start by sharing what God has been dealing with you about, and then see what God's talking to them about. We're not mandating the sort of the how or the what that you do, but we are expecting that there is at least a monthly gathering of your Oikos in person or online. Either one is fine, but at least one of those on a monthly basis. I feel like this obviously has not been a very encouraging and uplifting video message, and I'm not going to apologize because I'm saying things that I feel. I'm saying things that have been burdening me, and I am once again. We've done this the last couple of years, but I'm just going to challenge you once again. If you are not bought in to your role as a deacon, and in some ways, if you're not eating, drinking, sleeping it, we really need to know that. And there have been a couple of folks in the last couple of years that have reached the point they've acknowledged that, and I respect that. I respect that. But where we are, and by faith where we're going, this is such a critical component of what we do, of who we are. And I've tried to express how I feel about that for the last several years now. And so once again, I'm at least just restating it. This is such a huge need, a critical area. All ministries are important. I believe that. All ministries are important. But obviously there are varying degrees of the impact of ministries. And this is a ministry, an area of ministry that is absolutely vital. And as I've said, I think at least once, if not a couple of times in this video, I fully respect, understand, appreciate going through some seasons where things may not be going the greatest. I get that. In fact, I believe that's God designed. We go through seasons. But when it seems to be more than just a season, it really becomes a concern. So I'm asking you, again, whatever's been communicated throughout this video that applies to you, I'm asking you to take it to heart, prayerfully consider it. If you have anything with regards to any of this that we need to talk about, all of you know how to get a hold of me. You know how to reach out. And I'm more than willing to sit down and communicate with you, discuss this, and see what we need to do to help you. I sincerely appreciate all of you, even with some of these things that I have addressed in this video. There are some really positive things. Some of the growth that we have seen in people's lives the last couple of years, that a lot of that can be directly attributed to you as deacons, and your role in the lives of the people you're leading is just it's an encouraging thing to see. So there are lots of very positive, good things that are going on. But we can't get content. We can't become satisfied with the ever sort of settling into the status quo. So God bless you, and thank you for taking this time to listen.